Good day, good afternoon, friends and family. Brenda the Alchemist. Welcome to this spiritual fitness session. It's 3:33 on the clock. Wherever you are in the world. Hello, hi, good day, good rising, good evening. Um, Spirit just gave me this download about becoming spiritually strong and emotionally strong and stable. If you're only familiar with lower frequency, lower emotional processing, you're only comfortable in what appears to be and how your ego will deceive you into thinking and believing that you are emotionally safe by only existing and living in lower frequency emotions like fear, insecurity, anxiety, um, doubt, worry, stress, all of the low measuring emotions. Okay? These emotions are unhealthy and can become more toxic the more you dwell in them, the more you consume them, the more you express them, entertain them, all of that for your energetic body and your physical body. Okay? If you're not open and ready and available and flexible to surrender to higher emotions because you don't have the energetic capacity and frequency to be able to hold, just like when your body is working out. Okay, Spirit is bringing this to my attention. When you work out and you want to get stronger, you have to increase the weight. So in your spiritual walk, in your spiritual experience on this earthly plane, in order to get emotionally more strong and spiritually strong, okay, because your spirituality, your spiritual strength and health is communicated and filtered and integrated through your emotions. Because emotions is energy. Energy in motion. Emotions. Energy in motion. So if you're only used to existing and expressing and processing in lower emotions, weak emotions, how are you going to become strong emotionally and spiritually? How are you going to have enough power and fuel to get you where you need to go in life? You're always dwelling and residing in weak frequencies and weak emotions. You have to increase your strength. And how you do that when life and the universe presents you an opportunity to be vulnerable or to express a higher emotion other than the ones you've been used to, the weak ones, okay? When you're being called to be confident, when you're being called to be brave, when you're being called to be to express love, authenticity, to operate in integrity, to be authentic in how you think and how you feel and what you have to say, speak from the heart, say what it is that you have on your heart. The more you do this, just like you do in your physical fitness and health, you will get stronger. And the more you do something, it will improve and increase your level of confidence. You're like, I know I can lift this. I know I can hold this position. I know I could do. You know what I'm saying? You just keep at it. But the more you avoid and run away, you're gonna stay weak. And in your weakness, you won't be able to get yourself to a position in life to experience things that require strength, that requires you to show up strong, like in business, personal, romantic, platonic, creative. Whatever the experience or opportunity your human self is meant to or you desire to experience. If you study and observe successful people, confident people, they had to work their way up to that point. If you study athletes and fitness gurus and fitness influencers who have this journey and they committed themselves to this process of getting stronger and more fit and more flexible and more agile and more powerful, that didn't come overnight. But they made a conscious choice and decision because they had a vision for how they saw themselves, their future self, and they're like, I want to take myself from here and I want to get there. Now, what is it going to take? How am I going to go from here to there? And once they understood and got clear on what was required, they got to work because their desire to be in their most powerful and their most strong and more performative self, high performing, okay, not low, weak performing. They didn't care what it was going to require and take. They said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit and dedicate myself to doing this because I see myself as this. They tap into their potential. And that potency and that desire, that fire and that fuel to want to be in their future best, highest version was stronger than their current weak state. This is how your ego trick you out your spot. I know because it used to be me. I used to be paralyzed by being too shy, too timid, too soft-spoken, too afraid what others thought, too afraid what other people thought, and man, after a while, I stopped caring. And I started looking at the world and started looking at strong people and successful people. I'm like, I want to be like them. And then I looked at the quality of their life, what they had, how they was living. I was like, oh, okay, I want that too. I didn't have time to be sitting by being insecure and afraid and timid and scared and feeling small and shrinking. Yeah, I had narcissistic, toxic, no vibe, demonic energies and people who operate out of those energies or whatever because they was housing those types of attachments and entities try me and try to bully me and put me down and try to block me and get in my way and try to, you know what I'm saying, discourage me and challenge me in a negative sense for me to stay in my current weak state. But after a while, I was like, I'm busting out this. Like, what are you talking about? Because how I felt on the inside did not match how I was living, didn't match how I was showing up in the world. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like feeling powerless. When I know I'm powerful, it's all AF on the inside. That's that inexplainable, that's that God frequency on the inside of you talking to you. It's like I cannot express. God wants to express itself through us. And it can't do that if you're weak. Because that God energy, that frequency is not weak at all, and no sense of the word. So in order for you to tap in and connect to your divinity and to be godly and godlike and operate like that and show up like that, you gotta push past your weakness, honey. Because all this backwards programming and this miseducation we've been conditioned with about emotions and being vulnerable, you vulnerable. Think about when somebody's in the gym or somebody's preparing for some athletic competition or some level of athletic high performance. What they have to do, they are putting their physical body in a state of vulnerability every time they show up and they are presented with needing to push through to get themselves to a higher physical performing level. It's the same thing two very similar spiritually. You might think they two don't relate, but they very much do relate when you're talking about energy. When you understand the energy of something, you understand the energy of everything, because everything is energy. But yes, you cannot be afraid to stretch and push yourself emotionally and spiritually, or even physically. You have to do something you never, if you want something you never had, you want to be somewhere you've never been in life, you have to do what you've never done before. Because if you've been doing things the same way, you've been thinking the same way, you've been emotionally processing and emotionally expressing the same way, you only got, you only familiar with about 3, 4, 5 types of emotions. You never explored love. You never explored happiness, joy. You never explored passion. You never explored laughter. You never explored peace. You never explored. If you want something you never had or want to be somewhere in life you've never been, and you dream about it, and you fantasize about it every day of your existence, you need to push yourself and explore on a higher emotional level. If you only familiar with worry, fear, doubt, timidity, shyness, scary, depressed, anxiety, jealousy, envy, anger, infuriation, like that's all you got, the universe look at that as your currency, because your energy is your currency. So that's what you're able to afford when energy requires you to need, you know, energetic capital to manifest. And this is all you're working with. This is all you're coming up with. You coming up short. The universe is saying you coming up short because you only familiar with these types of emotions. This is the only type of energy you're able to manifest from. That's all you got. That will leave you in debt and put you in karmic debt. Because you're creating from a weak state, from weak emotions, weak lower frequencies. You're not gonna go far if that's all you're working with. You need to put some love in there, some passion, some peace, some joy, some laughter, some happiness. Because that's just gonna keep you impoverished. Those are poor level frequencies. That's poor levels of existence. If you want to experience the beauty of life, the bounty of life, the abundance, you need to come up higher. You need to stretch, and you need to run to the next opportunity that's pushing you to raise your frequency and vibration and come up out that weakness. If you want the gods and the goddesses to see you and recognize you and vouch for you, you need to meet them at their level. You need to be working towards it. Otherwise, you gonna stay little bitty peon in your little bitty, your small world, your small reality of existing. While everybody else who grasp these concepts and ideas are gonna be, they're gonna be on a whole nother timeline. We're all existing simultaneously on this planet together, but everybody not living the same timeline. We see that every day. You see the wealthy, you see the rich, you see the happy, you see the passionate, the creative, the love, the vital and the energetic, and you see it all. Everybody not living on the same timeline. Because when you have more, you can do more. All right, friends and family. I don't have anything else to say. Spirit just needed me to get that out to you all. I hope this helped and clarified something. I tried to make it as simple as plain as I possibly could. Okay. I appreciate you coming in and working out with me and having this spiritual fitness session with me. I wish you all the absolute best on your journey and your healing and in your strengthening of your soul, your spirit, your mind, and your body. Okay? Continue to be the most healed, highest versions of you. Optimize your best self for your best life because you absolutely deserve it, especially after all you've been through and all you've made it out from. Just continue to push. You'll get there. All right? Until next time, until our next session, friends and family, continue to show your love and support. I appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe, share with someone else that this could absolutely encourage and help. Until our next session, love you all. Peace, bliss, and happy healing. Take care.